Shalom, shalom, and welcome. This is Yasharal's Living Orders and Commands. It is an end-time series to those who seek to do the will of the Almighty Father. It is a series of messages that I am compelled to present as I believe the Spirit of Yahushua is directing my words. Will I make a mistake? Yes. Will I stumble? Indeed. Keep in mind the scriptures speak that the flesh war against the spirit. Therefore, in itself, there is a battle within, and I seek to walk and speak out of obedience to the Spirit of my living Messiah, Yahushua. With that said, if you're tuning in for the first time, my name is Symmanayah, and this segment of Yasharal's Living Orders and Commands is entitled Different Ears. I invite your patience, your tolerance, your examination to these words, O Yasharal. I invite you to listen attentively. And yes, will this message exceed 15 minutes? Probably so. It is for this reason I ask your patience. Be prayerful as you hear the words that I speak to you. Seek to discern whether they bear life or not. Keep in mind, if they bear life, they will do as described in Isaiah 55:11. They will accomplish the task they have been designed to perform. With that said, my brothers and sisters, if we listen to a video, a recording, or some form of individual speaking or writing, all too often we hear differently. We face different ears, of which is the title of this segment, different ears from one another. Let me state this clearly. There are instructions that are different, but are like pieces to a puzzle, with each instruction necessary to bring Yasharal, a nation of one, with many members together in unity. So there will be different ears related to different tasks and assignments. But there are also different ears as a result of us not listening attentively or asking questions. In other words, there will be different ears. There will be the set apart individuals with different ears, being forged together as a puzzle, made one and made whole by Yahushua Mashiach. And there will be different ears that, out of neglect, out of overzealousness or overeagerness, that will hear something entirely contrary to what the message is intended to say. End times are here, and conditions are unfolding with intensity as I speak. Believe it or not, my brothers and sisters, how we respond to what we hear, it comes with a cost. Our communications are taken for granted and abused. We speak abruptly, and all too often we display overeagerness and overzealousness when communicating to one another, especially when it comes to set apartness or the interpretation of scriptures. Unfortunately, we have placed our mouths, our writings, and other forms of speaking or communicating in priority over listening. We have made them more a priority than listening. How then can we be an effective witness if we don't observe and listen to the voice of the Spirit of Yahushua? I could word it differently by simply saying we reap what we sow. But I am compelled, O Yasharal, to present this message entitled Different Ears. Communications will come and do come at a cost. We will either benefit and set apartness or not. The day is at hand, O Yasharal, for us to begin accepting that we will be refined, reproved, and disciplined when necessary regarding different ears, regarding growing in maturity and set apartness. Hearing something that is not accurate because we fail to listen with a discerning mind and spirit is very dangerous. Many false witnesses have emerged due to miscommunications or lack of an attentive listener or active listening. Many have demonstrated false witnesses against their brothers and sisters because hearing was not a priority. Different ears. This phenomenon occurs also due to many languages and diverse influences that have shaped our perceptions for centuries. People from different nations, from different nationalities, different geographic areas on the planet, different demographics and more, use language in many ways, shapes, and forms. Remember that even the Tower of Babel, it was a result of a man attempting to rise above what was established. It was a result of man, rather, attempting to rise above what established by the Almighty Father Yahuwah. Let us beware, my brothers and sisters. Different ears exist, and in many instances will prove to be a dangerous thing as intense times arise. Consider this. Play any recording that I presented before others and invite them multiple times to hear any message that I presented. Then discuss those messages with those who listen. Discuss what you heard and seek out what they heard. I assure you there will be different ears. Different conclusions will be drawn, and within the discussion it will become clear that different perceptions are formed. And I know it's not about me, so feel free to listen to any recording or speaker with two or more individuals and discuss what you heard individually and collectively. And I assure you what you would receive is a difference of opinion, a difference of perception, different ears at its best. But soon and very soon, my brothers and sisters, we will learn that the Spirit of Yahushua brings about unity to Yasharal. Unity, structure, and discipline come to Yasharal if and only if we find ourselves discerning and yielding to the voice of the Spirit of Yahushua. End times are here, and soon we will witness the most trying of times. We will grow to appreciate time, fresh air, fresh water, food, and a safe place. The rise of the Spirit of Yahushua will emerge within us, working through us one towards another. There will be emergence of chosen leaders guided by the living Spirit of Yahushua. The two witnesses of Revelation are on this planet and walking it right now. And by their actions it will soon become clear regarding their identities and their full mission. I'm compelled to believe that they have yet to come together. In other words, I do not believe the two witnesses are together right now. I believe they are separated. And soon, at an appointed time, they will come together. I'm compelled to believe the two witnesses of Revelation will be the last two shepherds of Yasharal. I'm also compelled to believe by the Spirit of Yahushua that there will be a rise in elders and leaders as we begin to gather in mass numbers. The Spirit of Yahushua, I am compelled to believe, has made known to me that the numbers will be in mass, large, in other words, but when comparing them to the world population of over 7.2 billion people, it will only be a remnant represented. Pray and watch, my brothers and sisters. Pray and watch. The fullness of all that is promised is approaching our doorsteps. Are you ready, my brothers and sisters? Are you ready to receive what lies ahead? My brothers and sisters, global warming, climate change, comets, bombs will soon set the world on fire in many areas. As cataclysmic events begin to enlarge, it will become evident that our fresh air is threatened. As methane and CO2 gases rise within our atmosphere, these too will prove to threaten the very air we breathe. Extreme widespread drought will prove to bring the largest famine known to man. Food will become scarce in the coming days. Pestilence and disease will erupt beyond the current state with no real solutions in sight. The greed, the rebellion, and wickedness of man will cause many catastrophic events and conditions to occur at the same time in the coming of days. Man is about to become overwhelmed beyond measure as the wrath of the Almighty Father is unleashed. Remember, vengeance is mine, saith the Almighty One of Yasharal, says the Creator, says Yahuwah. When do we believe that He will enact vengeance upon this world for the innocent blood that have been shed? Pray and watch, my brothers and sisters. The Almighty Father's wrath has begun, but it will not reach its fullness until Yasharal has been gathered from the four corners of the earth and placed in a safe place, in a set-apart place at the set-apart mountain. Pray and watch, my brothers and sisters. There will be a gathering from the four corners of the earth. All that is unfolding will become too real and clear for those who are aware. I am compelled to call this series of events that's unfolding the Amos sequence, and it will become more critical for us to seek to discern the living commands, the living orders and commands coming from Yahushua Messiah. Remember, my brothers and sisters, the Spirit of Yahushua speaks to us individually, through us, one towards another, and if necessary, the mouth of a donkey or the stones will cry out. Are you able to discern the voice of the Spirit of Yahushua? Pray and watch. There is nothing expected of us of which we have not been equipped to accomplish. In other words, the Most High Father have equipped us with all the tools and resources necessary for carrying out his orders. My brothers and sisters, chaos, civil unrest, yes, death and destruction, to say the least, is about to ignite beyond measure, and it is very important that we begin to train our physical and spiritual ears to hear what the Spirit of Yahushua is saying to us individually and collectively. Yasharal, we are awakening, and there is no stopping regarding the promises and plan made by our Father, our Almighty Father Yahuwah. End times are here. These are the final days of man as we know it. And these earthen vessels, different ears, what are you hearing? How do you perceive the instructions, reproof, discipline, and warnings from the Spirit of Yahushua? Are you able to discern what is indeed set apart? Or have you come to discern whether you are ordered to teach or be an elder before Yasharal? Are you called or chosen to lead? Remember, the sovereignty of the Most High Father Yahuwah is established according to his plan. His plan, a sovereignty, which some erroneously call a kingdom. His set-apart spirits in Yahushua's name is absolutely not a democracy. Do you honestly believe it is about majority rule or democratic process? Do you honestly believe we serve a passive Almighty One who is worried about our feelings, how we perceive things, disrupting our perceptions and or emotions? I say not. He is the Almighty One who created all that is all. And it is by his words that his plans will come to be. His promises will be made known and become clear. The world will witness an emerging and awakening nation. Think again, my brothers and sisters. No, pray earnestly, for this plan is unfolding as I speak. It will be no stopping, no pause, no retreat. The plan and the promises of the Almighty One will come to be. Yahushua Mashiach will be lifted up through our worship and obedience, and we will lift up our Messiah as his Spirit directs our footsteps. Different ears, yes, different ears. Consider these, my brothers and sisters. Matthew 13th chapter, verses 9 to 13 reads, He who has ears to hear, let him hear. And the taught ones came and said to him, Why do you speak to them in parables? And he answered and said to him, Because it has been given to you to know the secrets of the reign of the heavens, but to them it has not been given. For whosoever possesses, to him shall be given, and he shall have overflowing. But whoever does not possess, even what he possesses, shall be taken away from him. Because of this I speak of them in parables, because seeing they do not see, and hearing they do not hear, nor do they understand. That was Matthew 13 chapter, verses 9 through 13. Let me bring your attention to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 9 through 14. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 9 through 13 says, The coming of the lawless one is according to the workings of Satan, with all power and signs and wonders of falsehood, and with all deceit of unrighteousness, and those perishing, because they did not receive the love of the truth in order for them to be saved. It is for this reason the Almighty One sends them a working of delusion, for them to believe the falsehood, in order that all should be judged who did not believe the truth, but have delighted in unrighteousness. But we ought to give thanks to the Almighty One always for you, brothers, beloved by the Master, because the Almighty One from the beginning chose you to be saved and set apartness of spirit and belief in the truth. Pray, my brothers and sisters. Pray and watch. These are the days, these are the times in which we should seek earnestly to discern what is expected. Let me also read 2 Thessalonians 3rd through the 8th verse. Let no one deceive you in any way, because the falling away is to come, and the man of lawlessness is to be revealed, and the son of destruction, who opposes and exalts himself above all that is called the Almighty One, or that is worshipped, so that he sits as the Almighty One in the dwelling place of the Almighty One, showing himself that he is the Almighty One. Do you not remember that I told you this while I was still with you? And now you know what restrains for him to be revealed in his time. For the secret of lawlessness is already at work, but only until he who now restrains come out of the midst, and then the lawless one shall be revealed, whom the master shall consume with the spirit of his mouth and bring to naught with the manifestation of his coming. I submit to you, O Yasharal, we are that restraint. And once we are gathered from the four corners of the earth to the set apart mountain commonly known as Jabal al-Laws, which is Mount Sinai, to that region, to that set apart mountain. Once we are gathered from the four corners, we will then witness he who is called the anti-Messiah, the Antichrist, emerge. Pray and watch. It is not like you would expect it to be. My brothers and sisters, not everyone will come to discern and yield to the living orders and commands from the Spirit of Yahushua. There will be different ears, different interpretations. But I assure you, different ears will prove to contribute to unbelief and rebellion in the coming days for many. Prepare, O Yasharal, our redemption draws near. Prepare, my brothers and sisters, O Yasharal. There will be an emergence of leaders by the Spirit of Yahushua, and we will witness right rulings, judgment, as we are formed, shaped, and structured. As a royal set-apart nation consisting of both Hebrews and Goyim, made one by Yahushua Messiah. Pray, my brothers and sisters. Pray earnestly. We will witness being grafted together beyond our wildest imaginations. We will witness being grafted together by Yahushua Mashiach, made one. One family. All those who seek to do the will of the Almighty Father and yield to Him, His Word made flesh in the name of Yahushua. Regardless of the many interpretations centered around man's intellect or position of belief, it will not stop what is indeed true. We are about to witness the most extreme and phenomenal days ever before man. There will only be one end time, one final days, one tribulation, one day of judgment, whether we embrace this reality or not. The time of Yasharal is for us to begin yielding to the living instructions, real living orders and commands from the Spirit of the Most High, from the Spirit of Yahushua Mashiach. Know this, O Yasharal, O listening to these words, different ears exist, but all that is necessary to fulfill the promises and plan of the Most High will soon be made clear to each of us, individually and collectively. Are you prepared, if ordered, to be a martyr for Yahushua's name? Do you believe you will be laid to sleep, to rest, to die before the return of Yahushua Messiah? My brothers and sisters, trying times are ahead. There was a slight interruption as my phone rang, and it is for that reason, for this reason, I ask your forgiveness for the interruption. And thank you for your patience. Let us press forward, my brothers and sisters. The realities of all that is written in scriptures is before our very eyes. The time is now to begin to seek to listen, to begin to understand what different ears mean from a set-apart perspective, and how to avoid and beware of the different ears that are fueled by wickedness and evil that cause conflict. Conflict that is not the actions of a sword of righteousness, the sword of righteousness, the word of set-apartness. Will you be in the ranks of those who will be gathered in the final days? Are you prepared if ordered to be a martyr for Yahushua's name? Do you believe you will be laid to sleep, maybe die before the return of Yahushua Mashiach? Soon and very soon, answers to these questions will come. The very purpose of each breath, each heartbeat, the function of our lives will be made clear to us. There will be no excuses, for the Almighty One has drafted a plan that will be fulfilled. And it will not come in a passive way of saying, if you obey me, if you do this, if you do that. Beware of those who grab scriptures out of context or who try to make the written text a lie, void of hearing what the voice of the Spirit of Yahushua is saying as it relates to the text. Beware of those who believe they know more than the Spirit, the living Spirit of the voice of our Mashiach Yahushua. But soon and very soon, all rebellion and wickedness that stands in the way of Yasharal coming together will be laid waste, removed from the ranks of those who will be gathered from the four corners of the earth. The time is at hand, my brothers and sisters, to begin asking one another questions, having discussions, listening, and responding to what you heard in a set-apart way. Let us learn to place the seriousness, the accuracy of listening as a high priority in the days ahead. I ask you, what are you hearing that pertains to the final living orders and commands coming from the Spirit of Yahushua? What are you hearing, whether directly in spirit or through another? For soon and very soon, different ears will be made known. The different ears towards set apartness. If each of us receive instructions for the bringing together, the fitting together of a nation in unity. The different ears, the ears of rebellion and wickedness, as they are purged from among our ranks or we find ourselves coming away from them. The power, the might, the reproof, the discipline of the Most High will rise and become enlarged as we are humbled due to the conditions ahead that will unfold. Let me state this very clearly, O Yasharal. There are, as I mentioned before, different instructions like pieces to a puzzle. Remember, Yasharal is a nation of one, but has many members. In other words, there will be different ears representing set apartness. The instructions of a hand, or a foot, or a heartbeat, or a kidney, or a lung. Each member of this body have different instructions, different ears, so to speak. But when fitly joined together, we have a walking man, woman, or child. But there are also wicked different ears who use their own conceit, their own mental faculties to determine and attempt to interpret the scriptures accurately. Beware of those who are void of representing the voice of the Spirit of Yahushua. Beware of those who are not a witness for the voice of the Spirit of Yahushua. Pray, my brothers and sisters, for my prayer is that we are able to endure until the very end. Until next time, pursue set apartness like never before. There are no rewind buttons. And without the Spirit of Yahushua, we cannot experience life immeasurably. Rise up, my brothers and sisters. The day is at hand. Ask questions. Seek answers. Discern what is indeed set apart and alive. What is ordered, and respond. Let the discussions begin to enlarge among a people who are awakening. Let the discussions begin to become clear in our pursuit of set apartness. Let us move beyond the different ears that our own minds have attacked as it relates to set apartness. And let us move to only different ears that represent members of a body of one and Yahushua Mashiach. Until next time, set apart ones of Yasharal. Pray and watch. Our redemption draws near. Shalom. Shalom. Shalom.